join up on this live stream so we can get this started. The internet, like I was saying before in my previous live stream, it's not the best here in Aussie, so I have to switch between my mobile internet data and my home internet data to make it work for me. Anyway, so hopefully you guys will tune in shortly. Once we get some people in here, we can start this off. So what I want to cover, if you're new to the channel, I want to go through a few of the things with the mix on this particular mix that I've got here. I want to cover off the mastering section as well. So I'm using Ozone 8, which is a platform that a lot of people use to do their masters on the digital realm side of things. And I feel like this is a really good topic to cover for a lot of people that may not know how it works or haven't used it much or whatnot. So that's definitely something we want to look at today as well. And once we get some people in here, we can start going through it and get this all underway. The other thing I want to first share with you guys, if you're just joining now, actually I've just got somebody in here now. So if you're just joining, just let me know how the sound is, let me know where you're from. And also let me know what you want to see on this live stream as far as topics covered. The main topics I want to talk about in this stream would be Studio One mastering audio and using Ozone 8. So that's this nice little program there. And the other thing is I want to share this this background here of Studio One. So thanks for joining in and tuning into Crossbeats production. I really appreciate it, you guys. If you're new to the channel, obviously let me know. If you're not, if you've been around for a while and you know my channel, let me know where you're from so I can obviously get into this one for you guys. Let me know in the messages as well what the audio is like so we can sort this out. Cool. So what I might do is start off first with the mastering side. So I might go through Ozone and just talk about some of this stuff that's happening here and also play the project to you guys so you can kind of hear what this sounds like. So first off, the project, all of this track here that you see inside of Ozone, it was originally in this project behind in Studio One. So a lot of the project I mixed originally in Studio One, which is all these tracks here. And then I brought it into the mastering suite, which is Ozone 8. You can do this also inside of Studio One. You could use the plugin Ozone 8 to do it. But sometimes I feel like after you've had a long session of mixing a track, it's hard to get your ears back into, I guess, you should give them time to rest anyway, but it's hard to get your ears back into the mix and listen to it again and again and again, and then master it and critique it that way. So I feel like when I master tracks, most of the time I'll try and wait maybe a week, or even if I can give it more, I would wait more. But this particular track, I think I've waited about a week and a half to have a listen to it. And on the second listen, I've heard things that I think, oh yeah, I could fix that, or it could do with something sweetening or whatever, compression wise or EQ or imaging, even that. So in the mastering side of things, generally, I think mastering is misunderstood a little bit as far as the way that you do it or what you do or what the actual mastering process is. I think that mastering in a general sense is generally just sweetening the track up more than previously it was. So if you're looking at the mix, obviously you're mixing, you want to get the mix right before you go into the mastering phase. And I feel like probably a lot of people think that mastering is correcting the mix even so, and then adjusting it and doing other stuff on top of it. When in fact, I feel like that's all in the mixing phase, and that should be stuck in the mixing phase, so that if you can't get it right then, you need to go back to the mixing phase and then address the issues that are wrong with the track, and then use the mastering side of it to correct, you know, it could be imaging or a slight amount of compression or mastering as far as the limiting and stuff like that. So that's super useful to, I guess, use this kind of application as an external thing rather than using it in the actual, you know, when you're doing it as a session as a whole. Like if you're using just the Studio One, you want to use it for mastering, bring it out of the project and then put it in as a separate project and use it just to master it on its own. So yeah, so the color scheme here that I've got, it's something I want to share with you guys as well. So if you look in the description below, I think it should be down there now. There is a link there in that description that allows you to go and download the actual color thing that I've got here. So the background, if you want to know the actual settings, I'll just show you in the preset setup here. So basically this is the settings. So if you can see it on your screen there, I don't know how well it comes across on the live stream, but if you can see it. Obviously, you guys can use the settings I've got here. Otherwise, you can download that in the description below. So that's something I want to share with you guys in the session that we've got going on. So let me know where you guys are at, where you're from in the world, so I can obviously address you guys. It'd be cool to know. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in as well, because it definitely is something awesome to be able to do live streams online in this day and age. You can share so much information. So anyway, let's have a listen to this track, and we'll go through some of that and address what I have done on the mix to make it the way it sounds. So first, have a listen and turn your volume down. Maybe, I don't know what the difference is between my voice and the track itself, but it might be a bit louder. What I actually might do is just turn this down a little bit so it's not too loud. All right, cool. Let's have a listen to this track and see what it sounds like.
Been the best. Your pain has been my fault, but no, I won't let this be. You see, something happened. I've been shown a love worth everything. So please, please, dear, just listen. And I won't give up. I won't stop. You're my beauty to rescue, and it's not enough.
Okay, so that's the basics of this track. I discussed in the previous live stream what I kind of did with the mix, but I want to go through some of the stuff as far as the summing and I guess the benefits that you get from summing as well. Oh, cool. Must be, I got a comment here, must be 6 in the morning in Australia. No, actually it's in Australia, it's currently about 12 p.m, so about lunchtime at the moment. I don't know where you guys are at, or where you're at, Ghost Town, but yeah, it's about 12 p.m. here. I think in the US, if you're in the US, it's around about 8 or 9-ish, 9 p.m, depending on where you're at. Could be LA, I think it's about 7-ish, I don't know. I'm not too sure what the difference is in time, but anyway, so yeah, if you have any questions as well, let me know. Definitely put them in the comment section. Yeah. It's all good, man. It's all good. No problem at all. It's pretty cool that we can actually communicate online like this anyway, nonetheless. So yeah, so the project, as I was saying before in the previous live stream, I had this sent to me by an artist who is actually in the US, and he sent it to me on a hard drive so I could actually work on the full mix. I did have it in Logic, and I was saying in the previous live stream as well that the project was bounced out of Logic. I put the files into Studio One, as you can see here, they're all in audio, and then I've started to mix the project like that. So the basic mix, and I want to talk about EQ first, because I think some of the stuff that you get with, I don't know, a lot of people talk about EQ in different ways and what you should do with high pass filters and low pass filters and all that sort of stuff. But I want to show you guys actually what I've done in this project so you can learn firsthand what's happening here and look at it from case to case basis. So we've got the drums. We'll address that first because of the fact that drums, I feel like, are the main driving force of this track. The track itself pretty much was not that many, you can see there's not that many audio files. So there's the main synth, there's a couple of vocals down here as well, harmony vocals, which I'll just make that a bit bigger so you guys can see it. So harmony vocals, chorus vocals, and the lead vocal, and then that's all being summed into a summing. This is the main summing bus coming back into the project. But the reverbs and delays and the Vox, all of these 4 channels here are where all of my actual mix are going to currently. And that's because that's being summed externally into an external summing mixer and then back into Studio One for recording into that final bus there that you can see highlighted here. So the track itself, I've got this part here. We'll go actually from the drums like I was saying before. So I just might relabel this because it would make sense.